The quiet neighborhood streets suddenly turns cold when police pull up to a woman named Sharon. While she is walking her dog, she is chatting with a neighbor, completely unaware that she is the target of a major investigation.
Hey!
How you doing, Miss Sharon?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
They're coming for you, Sharon! They don't want me. They want Reggie. What's up?
Well, we're here for you, ma'am. Definitely here for you.
Whoa, why?
We're waiting on the detective to get here, but we have, with all the information that we do have, you have a warrant for your arrest.
They're teasing. They have to be.
Ma'am, we're not.
Oh,
You can please back up. You can
I'm
go home.
so sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, go ahead and go home. Thank you.
The tone shifts instantly from a casual afternoon walk to a high-stakes arrest. The officers reveal they have a warrant for Sharon's arrest and plan to take her into custody immediately. Sharon is visibly confused and asks if she can take her dog inside or get her husband.
I don't understand.
Yes, ma'am. So,
You're Sharon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you in handcuffs, okay?
Can I take my dog in and get my husband?
We'll
I can
give-
take care-
we'll give the dog
I'll
the-
go ahead and get your husband, and we'll get your dog taken care of.
You want me to hold the leash for now? I don't know. She's I don't think she's gonna get away. Well, you don't have to do that. I'm not gonna.
I got to still put you in handcuffs,
Here,
ma'am.
let me have this. I promise I will not hurt your dog under any circumstances.
We'll
I'm
do it in the
right
front,
here with
okay?
your dog.
The mystery deepens as the officers refuse to give Sharon or her husband any specific details about the charges. They tell the couple they are waiting for a detective to arrive and explain everything.
Try not to get your watch where it's going to pinch you or anything.
Remember that. Don't let him go because I don't have it. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, you guys, somebody's got to tell me something. What's going on? She has a warrant. All the information that we have. For her arrest. Well, I'm waiting on the detective who can come explain to you just everything in just 1 second, okay? Here, do that real quick.
What's going on, Sharon?
I don't know anything.
I'll have Mr. Reggie, I'll have the detective come talk to you in just 1 second, okay? I gotta make a phone call, okay? We're not in any kind of rush. Just give us 1 minute. I understand in the middle of your driveway. If you want to just step by the truck, that's fine too. Yeah, in the shade. Just give me 1 minute. Okay?
Mike, not December.
This specific case involves Sharon Sims, a woman from Florida who was arrested in 2021. Detectives eventually charged her with the first-degree murder of her husband, whose body was found buried in the backyard of their home years after he went missing. Sharon is led to the shade of a truck while the officer makes a phone call to confirm the next steps. She stands there in handcuffs, her neighborly facade completely shattered by the arrival of the police. What started as a simple walk with her dog ended in a life sentence behind bars. Do you think Sharon truly believed she would never be caught? Not every fire you see on railroad tracks is a simple accident. This event took place in Cubatão, Sao Paulo, Brazil on November 26, 2025. A massive fire tore through 12 separate rail cars that were carrying heavy loads of cellulose.
Rapaz, o trem tá parecendo a caravana da Coca-Cola, doido! Olha, rapaz!
Perdeu a carga inteira, malandro.
Caraca, meu!
Você não manda pra mim depois. Perdeu a carga inteira, malandro. Olha, malandro.
Puta que pariu, doido! Olha quantos vagão,
A
cara!
carga inteira foi pro saco, malandro.
Véi, isso aí vai dar rolo, hein?
É o caminhão da Coca.
É, bicho, é. Eu pensei que era o trem da Coca-Cola, cara. Olha!
Olha isso, meu irmão. Olha isso, pai amado. Olha que maldade, irmão. Tu é louco, parceiro.
train operator kept his cool and moved the burning cars to a safe location. This allowed local firefighters to finally get the intense flames under control. Fortunately, no one reported any injuries during the entire ordeal. Investigators now say this was an intentional act of arson. This specific incident marks the fourth attack on trains in this region. Someone is purposely targeting the infrastructure. You should always stay alert near rail lines and report any suspicious behavior to the police immediately. Arson puts the lives of workers in the community at extreme risk. Think about how much damage a single person can cause with just a match. In the city of Tripoli, a property owner orchestrated a cruel display by releasing a predatory feline from its enclosure to terrorize his unsuspecting employees. The laborers, who were migrants working on the farm, fled in sheer panic, while the employer recorded their distress and mocked their fear for his own amusement.
اعطيه بوسه يا علاش ارجول شني والله ما يعضش والله العظيم نعرفه ما يعضش والله ضرب ارقد على بطنك سعاده ارقد على بطنك سعاده بابا ها سعاده هاي نوز تفك روحك صعيدي نوز تفك روحك بسرعه.
While the physical safety of the workers remained intact, the psychological trauma was significant and sparked massive international condemnation regarding the treatment of vulnerable people in the region. Law enforcement eventually intervened, taking the man into custody for endangering lives and possessing a dangerous animal without legal authorization. This event highlighted the lack of protections for foreign workers and the disturbing trend of using exotic predators as tools for intimidation and power. A healthcare worker filmed an unsettling scene inside a senior living facility where residents spoke of a specific room they called the Chamber of Death. The facility staff noticed a grim pattern where anyone assigned to that particular living space would fall deathly ill or pass away within just a few weeks.
Heavenly Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil. May every door be a passage to your grace, to your blessings. In Jesus, may every door be a passage to your grace and every window open to your blessings. In Jesus.
While an elderly woman attempted to perform a religious blessing to cleanse the area, her rosary was suddenly and violently yanked upward by an invisible force. The train service animal also reacted with intense fear, whimpering and staring at the empty doorway as if it could see a presence that remained hidden from the human eye. Despite various attempts to clear the negative energy through rituals, the room continues to be a source of unexplained activity and deep dread for the staff.
Why is it beeping? I don't know, no one's in there. It's crazy. Get the light, get the light. You say you checked it? Yes. Did you just get that on camera? No. Stop. I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't like this. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is insane right now. Right there.
Okay, you're gonna stop this right now.
This intense footage comes to you from Oradea, Romania. Reports indicate the driver of a Mercedes was speeding excessively when he lost total control of his vehicle. He crossed over the roundabout in a way you would never expect. The car eventually smashed into a fence and came to a halt in the green space of a nearby gas station. The driver, a 55-year-old man, became trapped inside the mangled wreck. Local firefighters arrived quickly and had to use tools to pull him out of the vehicle. When you see the wreckage, you realize how lucky he was. He managed to walk away with only minor injuries despite the high-speed impact. Authorities tested the man and confirmed he was not under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Medical professionals determined the actual cause was a sudden diabetic episode. This medical emergency left him physically unable to react to the road. Do you know the warning signs of a diabetic crisis? If you or a loved one manages a health condition, always keep snacks or medical supplies in your car. A quick response can prevent a life-threatening crash like this one. A climber named Aaron Ralston found himself in a dire situation within a Utah canyon after a massive stone pinned his limb during an excursion. He spent several days trapped, eventually depleting his sustenance and forced to consume his own waste to stay alive while documenting his final thoughts on camera.
Very little water. My body's having difficulty controlling its temperature. I'm in deep stuff. It's pretty much suicide. It's 4 hours from here to my vehicle. Climbing is probably be impossible with one hand. The blood loss and my dehydration, I think, are ruling that out. I think I would die if I cut my...
Faced with certain demise, he realized he could use the weight of the boulder to snap his own skeletal structure before using a dull blade to sever the remaining tissue.
I tried cutting my arm off. I couldn't even barely break the skin with this stupid knife. I tried a couple different blades, and all I did was just mark myself up. I could barely even get any blood.
This epiphany that I could break the bones because my arm was caught so tightly that I could torque myself.
He would have to snap both of the bones in his arm to make it work.
Boom, and I wasn't even attached anymore, and I fell down like this, and I was free.
This harrowing act of self-amputation allowed him to escape the ravine and trek for miles until he encountered other hikers who could summon emergency medical assistance. His incredible endurance led to new safety protocols for solo adventurers to ensure no other explorer faces such isolation without a plan. A man named Taylor found himself alone at his partner's residence after she repeatedly warned him that the house was occupied by a spirit. While he originally dismissed her claims as the sounds of an aging structure, he was forced to reconsider when he heard heavy, rhythmic footsteps pacing on the floor above him. He began recording and shouted a challenge to the intruder, only to hear the footsteps suddenly charge down the stairs toward his position.
My camera is smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now. I always say it's not haunted because the house is a little old. But it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost, or if it's a person, I don't care. Who's up there? Oh my God, they're like at the top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise.
Even though the stairs were clearly vacant on camera, the sound of the rushing entity was so realistic that he instinctively threw a punch at the empty air. This terrifying encounter transformed a dedicated skeptic into a believer, leaving him and his partner searching for a way to find peace within their own walls. This frightening clip was filmed in Da Nang, Vietnam. Workers at a construction site noticed a metal barrier tilting toward the street during a period of heavy rain. An engineer ran over to the edge to see if the structure was failing. Suddenly, the ground gave way, just as you see in the video. The landslide pulled the engineer down into a deep pit along with 2 cars that were parked on the street. The engineer ended up pinned under one of the heavy vehicles. He could not escape on his own, so rescuers had to bring in a crane. The crane lifted the car so they could pull him to safety. He suffered a serious leg injury, but his full medical condition remains private. Authorities closed off the entire area and started an investigation into the collapse. Heavy rain can turn solid ground into a trap in seconds. If you see cracks or tilting structures near a construction site, stay as far away as possible. Don't wait for the ground to move before you find a safe spot. An individual preparing for sleep began to hear the unmistakable sound of floorboards creaking as if an intruder was navigating through the dark hallways of his home. He reached for his phone to document the potential break-in, but the lens captured something far more paranormal than a common thief. In the reflection of a mirror, a pale face with long, tangled, dark hair appeared to be staring directly at him from just over his shoulder. When he spun around to confront the person, the space behind him was completely empty, yet the figure remained visible in the glass for a heartbeat longer. The footage leaves viewers wondering if the mirror acted as a portal or if the entity was simply choosing to remain invisible to the naked eye. This video takes you to the Darnitsky district in Kiev, Ukraine. A woman was preparing to leave her home when a Russian strike suddenly hit her apartment building.
Это уже по нам.
She survived the explosion and later shared photos that show the massive scale of the destruction. The images show deep cracks running across almost every single wall and ceiling. Water leaks are now everywhere, and the strike caused major issues with the roof and the internal structure. The damage is so severe that officials have declared the entire building an emergency hazard. Imagine your home being ruined in a single second. This incident highlights the constant danger faced by civilians in the area. When you hear an emergency siren, you must move to a shelter immediately. Don't ignore the warnings even if you feel safe in your own living room. These photos serve as a reminder that structural damage can make a building collapse long after the initial blast. Always follow local evacuation orders to protect your life. A youngster used his camera to investigate strange thumping sounds that seemed to be originating from his bedroom while he was home alone. As he approached the door, the recording picked up faint whispered voices and a series of aggressive knocks coming from the other side of the wood.
Hearing some bumping noises upstairs, like right where my room is. I'm just gonna take a look at. Come on. Okay. Really? What the f was that? You guys hear that, right?
Once inside, the youngster watched in disbelief as a plastic cup sitting on his dresser began to slide across the surface without any physical contact. When he nervously asked the presence to repeat the action, the object was violently swiped off the furniture and sent crashing onto the floorboards.
I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. Oh, can you do that again? Fuck this.
The raw and unpolished nature of this early internet upload continues to haunt viewers, especially since the creator hasn't posted a single update in over 14 years. This shocking dashcam footage comes from Russia, a country where it seems every vehicle has a camera recording the road. On June 13, 2022, a man was driving through a quiet village when he spotted a pedestrian starting to cross the street. The person appeared completely unaware of his surroundings, and that is exactly when the situation spiraled out of control. The driver with the dash cam saw the danger early and slowed down for the clueless man who never looked both ways. Another driver from the opposite direction was not as lucky. To avoid hitting the pedestrian, that driver had to swerve violently. He saved the man's life but had a massive crash that totaled his own car in the process. The man recording was understandably upset because he realized he could have been the one in that wreck. This serves as a vital reminder to always stay alert, even in small villages. You should never assume a pedestrian sees you or will follow traffic rules. Would you be willing to wreck your own car to save someone who wasn't paying attention? This is the exact kind of freak accident you never expect to witness while driving on a public road. This clip comes from Chelyabinsk, Russia. A trolley bus was moving along its route when its pantograph, the part that connects to the electric wires, suddenly snapped off. The heavy metal piece flew straight toward a nearby car. It was a terrifying moment for the people involved. Thankfully, the debris didn't cause a major crash, and the driver was not injured by the flying part. An investigation is currently looking into why the equipment failed so violently. This reminds you to always leave extra space between your vehicle and the public transit buses or trams. You never know when a mechanical failure might send parts flying toward your windshield. Keep your eyes on the overhead lines and the vehicles around you. A split second of attention can save you from a disaster. Have you ever checked your own car for loose parts that could fly off at high speeds?
Good right hand by Williams.
Big body shot there from Cologne.
A talented boxer named Pritchard Colon suffered a life-altering injury during a match in Virginia after receiving numerous legal strikes to the rear of his skull. Throughout the rounds, his opponent repeatedly landed dangerous rabbit punches that the officiating referee failed to properly penalize or stop, allowing the trauma to accumulate.
It just shows he's pretty sharp. In his fifth round, he's still coming in the judge's eyes on his part.
With that in mind, I mean, we're here.
Good. Williams is doing an awesome job here. Determination, motivation. He wants to win.
And Colon drops down to his knees. The crowd is furious right now. The ref calls time. Right hand, and yeah, I mean, that was directly to the back of the head.
It's a heavy shot. Chris Colon looking early in the round. Williams has won.
Wow. He's got him. Williams is unloading on Colon. He puts him down. But you see that big punch right there directly to the chin. Another one, a third one. He's driving him back again.
He doesn't know how to deal with a guy like Williams.
Again! Colon is down. Final 10. Taking off his gloves.
I think they think the round was the 10th round.
That was the last round.
Oh boy, this is a disaster.
They thought it was the last round.
This is horrific for Williams. They're trying to lace his gloves back up.
Oh man, that's devastating. This is
unbelievable.
They waved it. Yes, that's agreeable.
That's
totally
it.
agreeable.
It is over, ladies and gentlemen.
After the bout concluded, the athlete lost consciousness in the locker room and underwent emergency brain surgery to address a massive hemorrhage. He remained in a coma for hundreds of days and eventually emerged in a state where he requires constant medical attention and cannot communicate or move independently. His family now provides round-the-clock care, while his story serves as a tragic warning about the necessity of strict safety enforcement within the world of professional combat sports. Details in this specific clip are still quite limited. We do know it happened at the Shahid Rajaei paper factory in Iran. The video shows a fast-moving fire breaking out inside the facility. The quick thinking and brave actions of the employees helped contain the fire before it destroyed the whole building. You can feel the tension in the air as they fight to save their workplace. No official sources have confirmed exactly what sparked the blaze yet. Fire safety training is clearly vital in industrial settings like this one. If those workers hadn't known exactly what to do, the situation would have been much worse. Do you know where the fire extinguisher is at your own job? Take a moment today to learn your exit routes and safety protocols. You might be the person who saves a day during an emergency. Acting fast is the only way to prevent a small flame from becoming a total catastrophe. The legendary vocalist Amy Winehouse gave a distressing final performance in Serbia where she appeared visibly unstable and unable to perform her musical arrangements. Fans watched in concern as she struggled to stay focused on stage, a moment that many now view as a desperate public plea for assistance with her internal struggles.
It's never safe for us. Not even in the evening. When I've been drinking. Yes, you didn't actually write it, I wrote it. Okay, can I ask you something? As an audience, yeah? Don't you think they look so handsome, like
Shortly after this event, she passed away in her residence due to accidental alcohol toxicity, leaving behind a final voicemail for a friend that sounded heartbreakingly ordinary.
I miss you. Call me. Where are you? Come on. Call me back. If you don't, I don't know what to do. Because you're with somebody else. I'm gonna come and run up and kill both of you.
Her untimely departure at the age of 27 prompted the industry to reconsider how it monitors the well-being of performers who are under immense public pressure. Today, her family operates a foundation to assist other young ones who are grappling with similar challenges to ensure her legacy helps protect future generations of artists. Take a second and picture this scenario. You're hanging out with 3 of your mates in Turkey late at night. You start to record the different vehicles that are speeding past your group. That is exactly what these guys were doing when things turned deadly.
Arkadaşlar çık tıklayın lütfen. Sen bir yere gitmiyorsun. Yarın biletini iptal et. Hiçbir yere gitmiyorsun. S90'la kalkalım yeni istediğin. Kardeş sen S90'la gelsen biz de farklı bir arabayla geliriz yani. Hiç sıkıntı değil. Evet. Ananı sikeyim. Ananı sikeyim. Ananı sikeyim. Ananı sikeyim. Ananı bak. Dano. 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 Dano.
While they were filming, 3 of those vehicles collided with each other at high speed. The wreckage headed straight toward the group standing on the side of the road. The cameraman luckily dodged the debris, but his camera captured how insanely close the car came to hitting him. His friend was not as lucky. He got hit by the flying metal and had to be rushed to the hospital for emergency care. Doctors expect him to make a full recovery, but it was a terrifying experience for everyone. Never stand on the outside curve of a road when filming traffic. If a car loses control, physics will send the wreckage right toward you. You should always find a spot behind a guardrail or a tree to stay protected. Workers at a bakery in West Virginia have documented a long history of paranormal events they attribute to a resident's spirit they have nicknamed Harry. The most disturbing footage shows objects seemingly manifesting out of thin air, including a plastic bowl that appeared to emerge directly from a painting on the wall. On another occasion, a soda can appeared to drop out of the same artwork while the shop was entirely empty during the late night hours. Heavy kitchen equipment often shifts on its own, and trays have been seen flying off counters as if guided by an angry unseen hand. The owners remain deeply unsettled by these occurrences, fearing that the spirit may be retaliating for their attempts to remove haunted items from the building. Advancements in camera technology give us incredible videos like this one from China. The footage shows a man riding his bike through a busy area. He was both unlucky and speeding at the same time, which is a dangerous combination. What are the chances that 2 different people would pull out in front of you at the exact same moment? They pretty much blocked every single escape route. Yeah, it looks like something straight out of an action movie. The biker crashed into a barrier that was equipped with a water brace. These water-filled barriers help cushion the impact and absorb the energy of a crash. This safety feature likely saved them from much more serious injuries. You should always follow the speed limit, especially in areas where cross traffic is common. Speeding cuts down your reaction time and makes it impossible to avoid unexpected obstacles. Do you think the biker would have crashed if he had been going 10 miles per hour slower? A social media creator began sharing unsettling updates regarding his younger sibling who claimed to be interacting with invisible companions inside their family residence. The young one produced detailed sketches of these entities, providing them with specific names and describing their distinct, often frightening physical characteristics.
What are you going to show me?
My picture I drew.
Your picture you drew.
That's Daddy, that's Mummy, and that's me.
And what's that?
That's Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Who's Steve?
My friend.
Your imaginary friend?
My best friend.
Your best friend Steve? You've got a best friend that looks like this?
It's my best friend Steve.
Okay. I'm leaving the house.
What started as a typical phase of childhood imagination took a darker turn when the youngster suggested that one of these spirits harbored negative feelings toward her brother. The specific details and backstories provided by the youngster were far beyond what her family expected, leading to a sense of unease within the household.
You said you got 2 imaginary friends?
No, I've got 2 best friends.
You've got 2 best friends?
Yeah, 2. Do you want me to show you another picture?
Who's that?
That's Steve.
Yeah.
That's Margaret.
And who's that?
That's you.
That's me?
Yeah.
No, but you spelt my name wrong.
Yeah, but that's you.
That's me?
Yeah, with your mustache and your eyebrows.
My eyebrows?
Yeah.
My eyebrows look like that?
Yeah, your bushy eyebrows.
Wait, so why have you drawn this for?
Because Steve doesn't like you.
Steve doesn't like me?
Yeah, but Margaret likes you.
Margaret likes me?
Look, she's holding your hand.
She's holding my hand? She's eating me. Are you sure Margaret likes me?
Yeah, she's holding your hand.
Do I need to be worried?
No.
This series of events has left many viewers questioning if the situation is merely a creative mind at play or if there is a more mysterious presence in the home. While documenting the renovation of an old cabin in the Oregon wilderness, a woman captured a dark humanoid figure watching her from an upper balcony.
There's something moving in the door. The thing is, that door in there is really stiff. Like all of them are. So, there's nothing hanging there. Fuck. It's creepy. It's gotta be something. I don't know what. What the f? It just, what the f?
The property has a history of strange events, including a young one who claims to hold regular conversations with a person that no one else can see. The figure on the balcony remained still for several seconds before slowly retreating back into the shadows of the structure, which has been frozen in time for decades. Skeptics suggested the image was merely a curtain caught in the breeze, but a follow-up inspection revealed that the windows were completely bare of any fabric. The cabin still contains the personal belongings of a long-deceased couple, leading many to believe the original owners have never truly moved on. In June 2024, southern China faced intense and deadly flooding across several major cities. The city of MYUU in Guangdong province was hit the hardest by the rising waters. You can only truly understand how fast the water rose by watching this time lapse in its entirety. The footage captures a gate being swallowed by the flood until it's almost entirely submerged. This disaster was not just about property damage, it resulted in at least 38 people sadly passing away. The sheer speed of the water shows why you must evacuate the moment a warning is issued. Floodwaters can hide sinkholes, sharp debris, and downed power lines. If you live in a flood-prone area, keep an emergency kit ready at all times. This video is a grim example of how nature can reclaim a city in just a few hours. How prepared is your family for a sudden natural disaster? A homeowner exploring the crawl space of her 2-century-old house discovered a hidden stash of items, including a weathered book and several antique photographs. As she examined the album, she realized that every picture featured an empty room in her house with a dark, blurry shadow lurking in the corner.
This is when the pictures took an unsettling turn. The rest of the album is filled with pictures of empty rooms that have an unsettling feeling. A dark shadow appears in all of these photos.
Shortly after bringing these items into her living space, she began experiencing aggressive paranormal activity, including loud banging and objects being hurled from the walls. One video captures a heavy curtain shifting on its own before the recording cuts out abruptly, leaving the woman's current status a complete mystery. The discovery suggests that some objects carry a lingering energy that can be reactivated when they are disturbed from their long-term resting places. When a landslide strikes, massive boulders often tumble down along with the mud and debris. Landslides are terrifying on their own, but adding giant rocks to the mix takes the danger to a whole new level. This specific video shows you exactly what a single massive boulder can do to anything in its path. The way this rock rolls through fully grown trees is bone-chilling. It carves a straight path through the woods, snapping trunks that are close together as if they were toothpicks. It gives you a clear perspective on why rock slides are so frequently fatal. Anyone standing on the receiving end of that weight would have almost zero chance of survival. If you are hiking in rocky terrain after heavy rain, stay away from steep slopes. Rocks become loose when the soil is saturated, and they move faster than you can run. Does seeing this change how you view the safety of mountain roads? A man named Tyreek Burton was tragically killed on the very night he celebrated his marriage, turning a beautiful milestone into a scene of absolute devastation.
His new wife had been together for 16 years, had 4 daughters between them, and were making plans to expand their family even more.
After a joyful reception with his partner of 16 years, he was targeted in a senseless shooting involving numerous rounds of gunfire just outside of the venue. This father of 4 young ones had returned to the location to collect his wife when the violent encounter occurred, leaving his community and relatives in total shock. The extreme nature of the attack has led investigators to search for a deeper motive, as the violence seemed far too targeted for a simple roadside dispute. His family is now offering a significant financial reward for any information that might lead to justice for the husband and father who was taken so abruptly. Upon arriving home from work, a man noticed a dark silhouette standing motionless in his window, even though he lived alone and the doors were locked. He rushed inside to confront the intruder, but found the house completely silenced and every room vacant with no signs of forced entry.
Hold up. And what is that? Is that a person? Should be nobody in the house. Nobody at all. Okay, well, guess I'll check it out.
The terror escalated in a later clip when he recorded a child rocking horse moving back and forth with increasing speed in a room filled with flashing lights.
Not again. Hello? Hello? No, I don't think so. No. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
The persistence of these events suggests a haunting that isn't tied to a single moment, but is a constant malevolent presence within the home. Whether it is a clever hoax or a genuine demonic encounter, the sheer variety of the phenomena captured has left the creator and his audience in a state of fear. This CCTV footage was recorded on January 20, 2022 inside a busy office. At first glance, everything looks normal, except for the typical mountains of paperwork piled on the desks. However, the scene quickly turns bizarre and dangerous in a way no one in the room expected. As the employees continued their work, a woman wearing green noticed something strange. She looked down and saw her smartphone beginning to smoke. She was understandably frightened and quickly moved away from her desk. Right as she stepped back, the phone burst into flames. The fire likely started because the battery failed while the phone was connected to a charger. It's not clear if the charger caused the issue, but the result was a sudden office fire. You should never leave your devices charging on piles of paper or fabric. If your phone started smoking right now, would you know where the nearest fire extinguisher is? A woman who was house sitting for a friend recorded a bone-chilling voice that seemed to manifest out of the empty air while she was watching a movie. A clear, disembodied voice asked if there was any way it could make her more comfortable, a phrase that was definitely not part of the film's dialogue. When she reviewed the footage, she also spotted the reflection of a dark, shadowy figure passing behind her across the screen of the television. While the spirit's words seemed polite, the physical manifestation of a shadow person in an unfamiliar house was enough to leave her completely terrified. This encounter serves as a reminder that some entities are not just watching us, but are actively trying to interact with and influence our environment. A high-speed chase through the streets of Ohio turns into a scene from an action movie when 4 teenagers decide to take police on a dangerous run. The suspects, ranging in age from 12 to 16, were driving a car stolen from Grove City. Body cam footage captures the moment the pursuit shifts from a highway chase to a violent confrontation at a gas station.
Occupied 3 times. Young male black juveniles. Got it. 127 East.
270 East.
Do I have anybody up by 71? No! God damn it.
150 Park reroute over there.
I'm gonna try 70 here at 71. 270, just west of 71 South.
270 west of 71 South.
Shut the vehicle off! Driver, shut the vehicle off!
Just fled from me, and the back passenger leaned out of the car, pointed his finger at me. 71 North, they're leaning out the vehicle still. I can't see if they have anything in their hands.
The tension peaks when officers corner the vehicle in a parking lot. Instead of surrendering, the 16-year-old driver tries to ram his way out, nearly running over an officer in the process. You can hear the urgency in the officer's voice as he shouts for the driver to stop before he kills someone. The police have to use their own patrol cars to pin the stolen vehicle and physically struggle with the driver to keep it from going back into gear.
I think it's backed into a handicapped spot in Turkey Hill. I'm about 90% sure this is a vehicle. Let me know when you're close and I'll try and swoop it.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Hands up! Hands up! Put your fucking hands up! Put your fucking hands up! Put your hands up!
I will kill you. Stop now. I will kill you. Yes. What? Trying to kill my partner? Yes. No, I'm not. Stop. Put him up. Put him up. Come here. Stay here.
All right.
Another hand.
I'm open.
No. You're going to stay right there. Hey, cover him. Don't move. Actually, put it in park.
Okay.
Put it in park. You, put it in park. All right.
Y'all just threatened to say you was going to kill
us. Yeah. I can't get to the gear shift. It's still in drive. Try the back seat. Try the back.
When are you going to break my arm?
I ain't going to break your arm. I'm just holding on to you so you don't try to put it in drive again. You already tried to drive over my partner one time.
I feel like you're going to snap.
You already tried to pull over my partner one time, and I'm only going to give you one of those. I ain't letting go while my partner's in the back seat. Well, I'll let go here in just a second.
We don't got nothing on it.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Hold on to this. Hold on to this arm so you can't put it in gear.
Y'all going to end up breaking my arm. Come on, Mom.
It ain't moving. No, can't. It's peeled.
It's 79797. Step out.
Step out.
I can't.
Step out. Turn around.
All right.
Turn around.
All right.
Put your phone down. Keep your hands up.
No, bro. And don't point that gun at my brother. All right, bro. Y'all got to throw it up. Tell me, Sean, to go over this. Hey, I don't got no shoes on. Hey, big TRSB, bro. Big hot the boy, keep it 100. Hey, big TRSB, dog. Hey, keep it 100. Bro, listen, I'm getting right the back out, dog. Keep it 100.
Once the situation is under control, the suspects show a chilling lack of remorse. When an officer asks if they did it for fame or fun, one of the boys simply laughs and says it was for fun.
Like that. Right, there you go. Palms together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your car?
Yes.
There's a bunch of stuff in that back seat.
Oh, yeah. It's from before that I was on.
Careful sitting down. It's a hard seat. You tried to run me over.
He was ramming the cars, and then I had to put my car in.
He looked at me, put it in gear, and drove right at me.
You're coming with me. Let's go. Step out.
Can I get my shoes? Can I get my shoes?
No. You can get your shoes later.
What you mean?
Why are you laughing, dude?
Cause you almost just broke my arm.
I didn't break anything.
Yeah, you did. Shut up.
Have a seat. The fame, right? That's why you guys do all this stupid shit, right?
Nah. I was just going home.
Because it's fun, right?
Yeah, but
right.
y'all ain't had to hit me, though.
What's your...
Y'all made me hit my head.
Their parents seemed just as exhausted by their behavior. When contacted, several mothers refused to come to the station, stating the children deserved to be in jail. The driver's own mother told police she would finally be able to sleep knowing her son was off the streets. The group was charged with felonious assault, receiving stolen property, and failure to comply. While the others faced juvenile consequences, the driver's path stayed dark. 2 years later, he was sentenced to 15 to 18 years in prison for shooting another driver during a road rage incident. It makes you wonder, was there ever a chance for these kids to turn back, or was this ending inevitable? A man in Vietnam began waking up at exactly 3 a.m. with a paralyzing sensation that something was lurking in the darkness of his bedroom. After several nights of this intense dread, he decided to take a high-exposure photo of his room to see if his instincts were playing tricks on him. The resulting image revealed the pale, wide-eyed entity crouched low to the floor, hiding partially beneath a table and staring directly at his bed. This incident highlights the power of human intuition, as his body felt the threat long before his eyes could actually confirm the presence of the intruder. If the footage is real, it is a nightmare-inducing example of why you should always trust that feeling of being watched in the middle of the night. On June 25, 2024, a powerful storm hammered Argon, which is a small town in Chechnya, Russia. The wind and rain caused significant damage to both public buildings and private homes. This video captured the moment the storm's power reached its peak. The footage shows the wind ripping the roof off a building as if it were made of paper. Other clips from the town showed debris blocking all the major roads, which caused massive disruptions for days. While many things were damaged beyond repair, thankfully no lives were lost in this event. During a severe storm, stay away from windows and move to the lowest level of your building. This video proves that even a small storm can turn a roof into a flying weapon. You should check your roof regularly for loose shingles that the wind could catch. Have you ever seen a storm turn a familiar street into a zone of destruction? A family gathering meant to celebrate a young one's birthday quickly spiraled into a scene of absolute chaos when an invisible force seemingly hijacked the kitchen. The footage starts with joyful smiles and birthday candles before the atmosphere shifts into something much more sinister and aggressive.
Birthday, dear Chrissy. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! Girl.
She gonna blow it up? Yeah.
You gonna cut the cake up, Mama, or you want me to?
Go ahead, I'm running the camera.
Alrighty.
Daddy's cutting the cake.
Did you like the bicycle and stuff you got for your birthday?
Oh my God, Tommy, it's gonna start again. Oh my God, dang no.
It ain't gonna mess everything up.
He's gonna mess this up for everybody now.
Come on, sissy. Come on, baby, come on. I don't know what's gonna happen. Come on. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, baby. Seems like it's messing everything at 4 seconds. It's okay. It'll be alright.
God, we should have had this at Jerry's house.
Okay, it might not
It's
do
just,
anything else, okay?
this stuff is starting again.
You alright? I'm sorry, sweetie.
You okay?
I'm so sorry.
God damn! Oh God!
What the hell is going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room, girls. Go.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Miss, let me get out of here. Come on.
without anyone touching the plumbing fixtures. The kitchen sink blasted water at full pressure while the cabinets and drawers began slamming with violent rhythmic force. The youngsters in the room can be heard screaming in total terror as their parents scramble to get them away from the unexplained activity. This decades-old footage remains a mystery today, leaving many to wonder if a malevolent entity decided to crash the party and terrorize the family during their most private moment. It serves as a chilling reminder that even our happiest memories can be interrupted by the unexplainable. Out of all the frustrating videos you might see today, this one is easily among the worst. The sheer audacity of the person in this clip is hard to believe. You're watching the complete lack of care for a fellow human being who is just trying to do their daily job. The worker was carrying a heavy tray when this person decided to interfere without a second thought. This kind of disrespect for service workers is becoming far too common. It makes a hard job even more difficult and dangerous for the staff involved. With any luck, the video only cuts off because the person carrying the tray managed to get some swift revenge. You should always treat service staff with the same respect you expect to receive. They are there to help you, not to be the target of your bad behavior or a prank. Home security cameras captured a series of bone-chilling events inside a residence where the owners had recently reported a foul, rotting stench that wouldn't go away.
The house smells like literally like rotten egg. Like it literally smells like you forgot to take the trash out or something. Like I don't know what the f is going on with this shit. Take the trash out? What the f? The lights are flickering now.
While the couple slept soundly in another room, a rocking chair in the main living area began to move with a steady, deliberate rhythm that suggested someone was sitting in it. The haunting reached a peak when a crucifix mounted on the wall began to rotate on its own until it hung completely upside down, a classic sign of a malevolent presence.
What the f, baby? The lights are flickering now, dude.
Throughout the night, the lights flickered erratically as a voice trained with pure fear documented the escalating paranormal activity for their followers. These events suggest that something beyond our physical understanding was attempting to claim the living space for its own dark purposes. The sheer consistency of the movements makes it one of the more convincing poltergeist videos currently circulating online. This video starts off looking perfectly normal before turning into a fiery disaster. You see bouncers standing at the entrance of a club in Russia. Someone must have been very unhappy with the service or the drink selection that night. When the front door opens, the only thing that enters the room is a set of flaming Molotov cocktails. The fiery liquor spreads across the floor instantly, causing huge flames to engulf the entrance area. It's a terrifying scene that could have easily led to a massive loss of life. Luckily, a quick-thinking employee grabs a fire extinguisher and puts out the blaze before it can spread to the rest of the building. This shows why every business needs to have working fire safety equipment and a clear plan for emergencies. You should always check for the nearest exit whenever you enter a crowded club or bar. If a fire starts, you only have seconds to move before smoke and flames block your path. This employee saved the night and likely saved lives by staying calm under extreme pressure. In what can only be described as a childhood nightmare coming to life, a man recorded scratching and shuffling sounds coming from directly beneath his mattress. He grabbed his phone and gathered the courage to peer under the bed frame, capturing a glimpse of a dark shape huddled in the corner. He called for a friend to help him investigate, and as they both approached the bed, a tall dark figure suddenly lunged upward toward them. Both men fled the room in a state of total panic, and the video ends with the sound of their frantic footsteps echoing through the house. While some viewers believe the scene was staged, the genuine terror in their voices makes this one of the most heart-stopping clips in recent years. In Hanoi, Vietnam, a motorcyclist made a life-altering mistake after being pulled over at a safety checkpoint. The officer stopped the man because he was not wearing a helmet. Instead of taking the ticket, the rider decided to push a police captain directly in front of a heavy truck that was moving down the road. Fortunately, the attacker failed to carry out his deadly intent. The police arrested the man on the spot. He now faces very serious charges for attempted murder. It's incredibly hard to understand what goes through a person's head during a moment like this. If there were a trophy for the worst decisions of the entire year, this guy would win it easily. He traded the simple comfort of his own bed for a cold jail cell. All of this happened because he didn't want to wear a helmet. Is a small fine ever worth throwing your entire future away? You should always keep your cool when dealing with authority. A moment of anger can lead to a lifetime of regret behind bars. Construction workers have one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Last year, more workers lost their lives in this industry than in any other field in the United States. While many countries have strict safety regulations to prevent accidents, other places are lagging far behind, as this video proves. The worker in this clip is not attached to any safety lines or harnesses. He's working freely on a ledge that is at least 20 stories above the ground. To make things more terrifying, the ledge itself looks like it's falling apart right under his feet. Chunks of the building are seen dropping into the void as he tries to keep his balance. He was seconds away from a long, fatal fall, but he somehow managed to get back to safety. You should never work at heights without a proper harness and anchor point. Is any paycheck worth risking your life on a shoddy ledge? A visitor to a dinosaur museum captured a subtle but deeply unsettling moment while filming a massive life-sized model of a prehistoric flying reptile.
That's a little disconcerting. That thing is huge. Imagine trying to run away from that. No thanks, Jurassic Park. Gee.
As she joked about the scary appearance of the pterosaur, the creature's head appeared to shift its gaze ever so slightly to follow her movement. This blink and you miss it movement suggests that even inanimate objects in public spaces might be influenced by external paranormal forces or residual energy. The idea of a museum exhibit coming to life is a common theme in horror, but seeing it happen in a casual cell phone video is much more disturbing. It raises the question of whether we are ever truly alone, even in a brightly lit building filled with artifacts and other tourists. Scenes of pure despair were caught on camera in Jinotega, Nicaragua on December 19, 2025. The video captures the horrifying moment passengers began jumping from a moving bus. The vehicle was carrying around 80 people when things went wrong. One person did not survive the crash and at least 8 other passengers suffered injuries. Sources say the driver lost control while navigating a hill. They suspect a total brake failure caused the heavy vehicle to flip over right at the edge of a deep ravine. The case is still under investigation as of this recording. Mechanical failures on hills are a nightmare for any traveler. When you travel in mountainous areas, you rely entirely on the maintenance of the bus or truck you're in. It's a sobering reminder to always choose reputable transport companies. This tragedy shows how quickly a routine trip can turn into a fight for survival. What I'm about to show you now is easily one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This footage is genuinely insane. I know I say that a lot, but you really have to trust me on this one. This was the Antonov An-22 Ante that belonged to the Russian Ministry of Defense. Some sources claim this was the very last An-22 left in active service. In this clip, you can see the massive plane breaking apart while it is still midair. I have no idea what caused such a catastrophic structural failure, but tragically nobody on board the plane survived. When a plane of this size fails in flight, there is almost no chance for the crew to recover. Age and poor maintenance are often the leading causes of these types of aviation disasters. It is a sobering reminder of the importance of strict safety inspections. You should always pay attention to the safety briefing whenever you fly, even if you are a frequent traveler. A man recorded a terrifying encounter in broad daylight when he investigated a rattling door in his home and saw a shadow person peeking around a corner.
Again? So I'm just gonna go and open it. Yeah.
What was that?
Mate, I'm not joking. What the hell was that?
What did you see?
There was something looking around the corner. Right. What the actual
The entity was solid and dark, appearing for just a fraction of a second before vanishing into a room that turned out to be completely empty. His girlfriend can be heard in the background asking what happened, while he struggles to explain the impossible sight he just witnessed on camera. When the footage is slowed down and the brightness increased, the outline of a head and shoulders is clearly visible against the wall. This final clip proves that paranormal activity doesn't always wait for the cover at night to manifest and can strike when you most feel safe. A private jet traveling from Acapulco crashed into an industrial zone near Toluca Airport in Mexico. Preliminary reports state the pilot realized something was wrong and signaled a mechanical failure. He desperately tried to perform an emergency landing on a nearby soccer field to save the people on board. Sadly, the aircraft could not reach the field and struck a large warehouse instead. This violent impact claimed the lives of all 10 people who were on the plane. Investigators are currently working to find the exact cause of this tragic accident. Aviation safety depends on split-second decisions and well-maintained equipment. Even with an experienced pilot at the controls, things can go wrong faster than anyone can react. Events like this make you realize how precious every moment is. We often take for granted the complex machines that carry us through the sky. While air travel is generally safe, these rare disasters leave a lasting impact on the families involved and the entire community. A tense situation in Houston turned deadly when an officer walked into an active robbery at a local shop. Body cam footage shows the officer arriving at the scene and immediately spotting a man holding a clerk at gunpoint. There is no time for negotiation. The officer fires his weapon, striking the suspect and ending the immediate threat to the hostage.
You open the door or what? Open the fucking door, dude. Gosh damn. Let me see your fucking hands. Hold it here, hold it here. Let me see your fucking hands right now. Shots fired. Okay, one suspect down, one suspect down.
The suspect falls to the ground behind the counter, claiming he cannot move his back. Despite just being a shootout, the officer immediately switches into life-saving mode. He calls for medical backup and begins talking to the suspect to keep him conscious.
Let me see your hands, man.
I can't move.
All right, we'll keep it there, all right, bro? I'll get you help as soon as I can.
Can I get a start to the hands for 12 West Green? Shots fired.
Hey, just get here as slow as possible, though, okay? Because he's good right now, okay? But go ahead and get an HFD over here to my location. He says he can't move right now. I'm trying to give him verbal commands. He can't move his back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got him right here. Black pants, it's a black hoodie, red underwear, black shoes, moving left to right. Hey, keep talking to me, bro. I'm right here. We're gonna get your help, okay, man? Hey, you hear me, man?
Okay, sir, give me a message, you guys. Here's close. Get in the ambulance.
The officer asks the shaken clerk if she is hurt and calls for a first aid kit. While waiting for the paramedics, he continues to check the suspect for other weapons and begins applying pressure to his wounds.
Hold on him. Kick to the right. I got you, bro. I got you. Push to it. Push. Let me see your hand. I'm moving right here, okay?
Can't move.
I know. I got you, though. Help's coming on the way, okay? Let me see this hand. If it's gonna hurt, I know it's gonna hurt. Just hang on with me, okay? All right, get that gun. Secure it. You got anything else on you, man?
No, I can't move.
Okay, I got you. I know. Well, where's it hurting right now, big dog?
My back.
Your back?
I can't move.
I got you. Relax. Stay right there, okay? Hold on him. Get inside my shop. Get inside. Look, I don't got anything in here to help us. Are you okay, ma'am? You're not hurt anyway? Okay. Hey, you got a first aid?
Yeah.
Get it for me. So far, one. Hey, can you ask her how many are there? It's just you, bro?
Yeah.
All right. Get the med kit. All right, this is all you had on you? Put this poncho off your head, okay?
It hurt.
Where are you hurting at? In the neck?
When you move.
Okay, cool. I know. Just hang on. You're good, man. You're good. You're good, big dog.
I wasn't gonna do nothing.
What's up, bro?
Why did you shoot me?
Bro, you had a gun on you, man. You had one in the hostage, bro.
And I was gonna push her up and run.
Big dog, you can't be doing that around here, man.
Oh, you hurt me.
Where at?
My arms, they going dead.
Your arms?
Everything feels heavy now.
Okay. Just hang on, man. I'm keep trying to keep you warm, all right? I'm trying to figure out what.
Can you please, bro? This shit hurt, bro.
I know. I'm trying to do my best, okay? I'm gonna get this shit off you, though, okay? Just hang on, big dog.
That shit hurt. Stop.
I'm trying to save your life, bro. This shit's gonna hurt. Where you hit him? Back. One right here. I don't know where the other ones are at.
The suspect, identified as a 26-year-old with a lengthy criminal record, later died from his injuries. The clerk was physically unharmed but left traumatized by the event. This incident from late 2025 highlights the split-second decisions officers face when a life is on the line. How would you handle the pressure of such a violent confrontation? A massive error by a dump truck driver led to a preventable tragedy in Thailand on December 18, 2025. The driver left the back bed of his truck in the raised position while he was driving. This raised metal bed smashed into a concrete footbridge, causing it to collapse instantly.
มีเซ็นดิจิตอลพวกของคิวบิตอยู่นะใช่มันจะมีฟิล์มมันจะต้องมีฟิล์มหนึ่ง อุ้ยอะไรอ่ะอุ้ยสะพานล้มเหรออุ้ย
The heavy bridge fell directly onto a smaller pickup truck that was driving alongside the dump truck. The driver of that smaller vehicle did not survive the crushing weight of the concrete. People nearby tried to honk their horns to warn the trucker about his raised bed. Unfortunately, he did not notice the warnings in time to stop the disaster. This shows why you must always do a final walk around of your vehicle before you pull away. Small distractions lead to big consequences when you're operating heavy machinery. If you drive for work, never skip your safety checks. A single forgotten lever can end a life and destroy public property in the blink of an eye. You're looking at security camera footage from a water treatment plant. This might seem like an odd way to start a video, but things are about to go completely off the rails. Pay close attention to the background machinery as the scene unfolds. I'm not sure if you caught that, but something went horribly wrong. I'm not just talking about the bright electrical explosion that lit up the room. Look at the way the structures begin to fail. It looks like a massive domino effect tearing through the facility. Despite the chaos, the worker managed to walk away from the blast. He owes his life to the containment systems that did their job perfectly. Without those safety walls and emergency protocols, that man would not be here today. Always check your own workplace safety gear before starting a shift. Real-world systems like these are the only thing standing between you and a fatal accident when high-voltage equipment fails. A devastating landslide on National Highway 6 in Hoa Binh Province, Vietnam, buried 5 people on December 14, 2025. Rescue teams worked hard at the scene and eventually recovered the bodies of 3 victims who passed away. Two of the people who died were employees of a road management company. They were simply doing their jobs, painting new road markings when the earth gave way. The third victim was a motorcyclist who happened to be passing by at the wrong time. Two other people were pulled out with injuries, but officials have not released details on how they are doing. Landslides are a constant threat during the rainy season in hilly regions. You should be extra careful when driving near steep slopes after a heavy storm. The ground can become unstable without any visible warning signs. This tragedy highlights the risks that road workers take every day to keep our paths safe and clear for travel. In December 2025, a routine shoplifting investigation at a Walmart in Canton, Ohio, turned into a life-or-death struggle. Body cam footage captures the moment a male suspect seated next to a female companion in the back office suddenly draws a handgun. An officer and a store employee react instantly, lunging for the weapon as the office erupts into chaos.
I'm in the bag off the shelf.
Please.
55.50.
Hey! Hey! No!
The struggle for the firearm is desperate and intense. The officer manages to wrestle the suspect to the ground while the store employee helps pin him down. During the scuffle, the woman sitting with the suspect is seen attempting to intervene, but she is quickly pulled away. The officer screams for the suspect to let go of the gun as backup arrives to secure the scene.
Give us your hands, now! Don't touch him.
Do not touch anything.
After several minutes, police successfully disarmed the man and placed him in handcuffs. Authorities later identified him as a 22-year-old with a history of theft and firearm offenses. He now faces multiple felony charges, including attempted murder of a police officer and carrying a concealed weapon. This incident serves as a chilling reminder how quickly a minor call can spiral into a lethal confrontation. This terrifying scene comes to you from Sao Paulo, Brazil. A small truck completely lost its way and sped across a busy street without any warning. The vehicle missed a delivery rider by just a few tiny inches. You can see how the rider escaped a disaster by only a fraction of a second. Local reports confirmed that despite the massive scare this runaway vehicle caused, no one suffered any physical injuries. It's truly the kind of day where you just feel thankful to make it back to your home in one piece. Think about how fast your life can change when you're on the road. Do you always keep your eyes moving to spot dangers before they reach you? This rider was lucky, but staying alert is your best defense against a mechanical failure or a reckless driver. Always check both ways even when you think you have the right of way. Do you know what a soapbox derby is? If you have never seen one, you should look up the Red Bull soapbox races. These events offer great entertainment and plenty of laughs, but they can also get very weird and dangerous in a split second.
Siga, amiga, vamos.
During this race, a woman decided to cross a track without looking both ways. She ended up getting struck hard by one of the speeding soapbox cars. The force of the impact actually knocked the co-pilot clean off the vehicle, which was a crazy sight to witness. Thankfully, everyone involved was okay after the dust settled. You must always stay behind the safety barriers at any racing event. These homemade cars do not have traditional brakes or horns to warn you. If you are taking youngsters to a race, keep a firm grip on their hands. You don't want a youngster darting into the path of a vehicle they cannot stop. Have you ever seen a crash that looked this dramatic but ended with no injuries? This is Miami, a city where high-speed craziness happens almost every single day. This time, the chaos involves a high-end Ferrari and a desperate criminal. The situation escalated quickly once the police got involved. This specific vehicle was actually stolen earlier that day. A high-stakes police chase began, and an officer eventually hit the Ferrari to stop it. The car started moving weirdly right before it slammed into a utility pole at the side of the road. The police moved in fast to apprehend the thief, who only had minor injuries. The amount of damage to such an expensive car is staggering. You should always invest in a GPS tracker for your vehicle. If your car is ever stolen, a tracker helps the police find it before a high-speed chase leads to a total wreck. Most modern trackers can even cut the engine remotely to end a chase safely. Do you think car thieves realize how much technology is working against them now? A crash involving a stolen car ended in a completely surreal way in Mar del Plata, Argentina. The vehicle rolled over several times during a high-speed chase. Even though they were clearly injured. The people inside the car climbed out and fled the scene on foot. What happened next is truly hard to believe. Another driver stopped at the wreck, but not to help. This person stole a loose wheel from the crashed car and even grabbed a wallet that the fugitives left behind. It seems the old saying is true, there is no honor among thieves. You see two different crimes happening in one single video. While the original crash was violent, the secondary theft is what leaves most people shocked. How would you react if you saw a crash like this? Most people would call for an ambulance, but some see only an opportunity to take what isn't theirs. It's a strange look at how some people behave when they think no one is watching. This next clip is interesting to say the least. You're about to see just how powerful nature can be when it catches you off guard. These guys were just trying to enjoy the weather when a massive lightning strike hit right next to them. Rain is not common in this part of the world because it's so rare. People often head outside to catch a glimpse of the storm whenever the clouds roll in. They want to experience the weather, but they got much more than they bargained for. Lightning can strike miles away from the actual rain. If you hear thunder, you're already close enough to be hit. You should seek shelter in a sturdy building or a hard-topped metal vehicle immediately. Don't stand near tall objects or open water when a storm is brewing. These men were lucky the bolt missed them. What would you do if a bolt of lightning hit the ground just a few feet from where you were standing? CCTV footage from June 2020 captured the cold moments leading up to a murder. A group of men arrived at a secluded parking lot and waited for their target. They eventually moved to a nearby street where they stood still for several moments, likely watching for the victim to appear. Not long after, the men are seen running at full speed back to their waiting vehicle. They had just killed a 23-year-old victim in cold blood. The calculated nature of the attack is what makes this footage so chilling to watch. If you ever notice a group of people lingering in a secluded area or an alley, trust your gut and stay away. It's always better to take a longer, well-lit route than to walk through a dark parking lot alone. Criminals often look for quiet spots where they won't be seen by witnesses or patrol cars. Reporting suspicious groups to the police can help prevent violent crimes before they happen. This young man lost his life in a planned ambush that shows how dangerous certain areas can become after dark. Stay aware of your surroundings at all times to keep yourself safe. This footage shows the A63 motorway in southwest France during a tense moment. A group of farmers had blocked the entire road as part of a protest. The drivers approaching the area obviously had no idea the path was obstructed ahead of them. One of the cars actually flipped over after encountering the blockade. It's a miracle that everyone survived the accident. When protests move onto high-speed highways, the risk of a fatal pileup skyrockets. You should always use a navigation app that provides real-world traffic updates. Apps like Waze or Google Maps can warn you about roadblocks or protests miles before you reach them. This gives you plenty of time to take a different exit and stay safe. Speeding through low visibility areas is a recipe for disaster. If you see hazard lights or slow traffic ahead, take your foot off the gas immediately. Samurai swords were legendary weapons during the time of the samurai, but they have no place on modern streets. This video from Essex shows what happens when a 50-year-old man decides to live out a dangerous fantasy. He unsheathed a large sword and used it to threaten 2 police officers in broad daylight. The UK has dealt with a high amount of knife-related crime lately, so the officers did not take any chances. They immediately used non-lethal riot rounds to knock the man down and end the threat. It was a fast and effective way to stop the man without using deadly force. When the police tell you to drop a weapon, you should do it immediately. Trying to fight officers with a sword will only lead you to being tased or shot with rubber bullets. These officers showed great restraint while dealing with an armed and unstable individual. Always remember that carrying a large blade in public is illegal and will get you arrested very quickly. If you want to study swords, join a local martial arts school where you can train in a safe and legal environment. This incident happened in Saudi Arabia and the footage is absolutely insane. You can see a man acting with extreme aggression as he targets a group of people. I have no clue what started the fight, but it resulted in an angry guy chasing them with a pickaxe.
شوف جاي اصدموا روس تعال يا جرار تعال طفوا ناركم طفوا النار بلغ روس طفوا النار لحد جدك انت يا قايل لكم بطل.
The victims might have provoked him, or the man might have just been acting out of pure rage. Either way, Chasing someone who is inside a car is a terrible idea. The metal frame of a vehicle is a much stronger weapon than a hand tool. It is still a very scary situation for the people being chased. You should never engage with an aggressive person on the road. If someone threatens you with a weapon, keep your windows rolled up and drive straight to the nearest police station. Don't stop to argue or film if you are in immediate danger. Your priority is to put as much distance as possible between you and the threat. Have you ever had to deal with an instance of road rage that turned violent? Well, you don't see this every day.
兄弟，你干嘛？
你干嘛？
你怎么一直跟着我啊？
我会走这条路啊。哎，兄弟，你是做什么工作的？
我们。
谢谢啊。
This footage appears perfectly innocent until you learn the dark background of the people on screen. These men seem to be having a great time at a petrol station, laughing and talking like normal friends. However, these individuals were actually terrorists, caught on camera just before a major crime. Not long after they left the station, they launched a violent attack in a major tourist area. Their actions killed 13 people and left 130 others with serious injuries. It's a haunting reminder that danger often wears a very normal face. You cannot always tell who is dangerous just by looking at them or their behavior in public. This is why security cameras at places like petrol stations and airports are so important to investigators. They help piece together the movements of criminals before and after an attack occurs. Stay alert when you're in busy tourist spots and report any unattended bags or strange behavior to the authorities. While you shouldn't live in fear, being aware of your environment can help you stay safe in an unpredictable world. A group of friends filming their experience on a fast-moving amusement park ride captured a passenger who definitely should not have been on the guest list. A woman appears clearly in one of the seats for a few frames, smiling directly into the camera lens with an eerie, knowing calmness that feels out of place. Just seconds later, the camera pans back to the exact same spot and the woman has vanished into thin air while the ride is still in mid-motion. Local legends tell of a young one who lost her life in a tragic accident on this very attraction many years ago during a mechanical failure. Many viewers are convinced this footage is definitive proof that her spirit still haunts her final resting place, eternally riding the machinery that took her life. The lack of any exit point while the ride is moving makes a physical explanation almost impossible to believe. While recording drum tracks for an upcoming music project in an empty school building, a creator caught a faint apparition drifting through the background. The YouTuber was already feeling overwhelmed by a creepy sensation in the hallways before he even had the chance to sit down and review his footage.
Okay. I'm not doing this right. Okay. can't even see myself. I don't know if this is okay. Never mind. I'm not doing this right. Okay. I can't even see myself.
A translucent, humanoid shape suddenly emerges near a staircase, moving with a ghostly fluidity before disappearing back into the deep shadows of the wing. The man nearly suffered a mental breakdown when he realized he wasn't as alone as he thought during the late-night recording session. He now refuses to name the specific school to the public, fearing that the dark history of the building might attract unwanted attention or dangerous investigators. The grainy quality of the film only adds to the sense that we are looking at something that wasn't meant to be seen by living eyes. A homeowner investigating sounds of a potential break-in late at night came face to face with a screaming man standing in the corner of a pitch-black room. The figure stood perfectly motionless while emitting a blood-curdling, high-pitched yell that echoed through the empty house and chilled the homeowner to the bone. When the resident looked away for a split second to check his surroundings and turned back, the intruder had vanished completely from the locked room. There were no open windows, no unlocked doors, and no places where a physical person could have hidden so quickly without making any noise. This brief but intense encounter has left the internet debating whether this was a physical threat or a residual haunting from a past tragedy. The homeowner has since installed multiple new locks, but the memory of that scream continues to haunt his sleep every night. Security cameras at the home of a recently deceased motorcycle enthusiast captured his prized bike moving without any rider or mechanical assistance. The handlebars began to twist and turn with purposeful, jerky movements, as if someone was preparing the heavy machine for a long-distance journey. His grieving family noticed the activity on the monitor after hearing strange metallic noises coming from the garage area in the middle of the night. While skeptics point to the potential electrical glitches in the garage door or the bike itself, the deliberate nature of the steering suggests a more personal, spiritual connection. It appears the man's spirit returned to touch the one mechanical thing he loved most in life before finally moving on to the next world. The family found comfort in the idea that he was checking on his property one last time. A man named Carter recorded the terrifying moment a piano in his home began playing a recognizable melody entirely by itself. He sat frozen in fear as the keys depressed under the weight of an unseen player, filling the silent house with haunting rhythmic music.
Who's there?
The song choice felt like a direct taunt to his current situation, causing Carter to eventually flee his own residence in a state of absolute panic. Outside in the driveway, he looked back at the second-story windows and saw a ghostly shape watching him from the darkness of the interior. He has since moved out of the property, hoping to leave the mocking entity and its phantom music behind forever in that cursed house. The video has become a staple in paranormal communities due to the clarity of the musical notes being played on the instrument. A filmmaker exploring a desolate and overgrown Louisiana swamp was startled by the sudden sound of heavy church bells ringing in the dead of night. He checked his digital maps and confirmed there wasn't a single church or bell tower for miles in any direction from his current coordinate. The heavy, rhythmic tolling seemed to come from the thickest, most inaccessible part of the woods where no structures have ever existed. Feeling a deep, instinctual sense of dread, he abandoned his expensive equipment and drove away as fast as his vehicle would allow. The source of the bells remains a complete mystery, suggesting a phantom congregation might still be gathering in the swamp for some forgotten ritual. The audio quality of the bells is crisp, making the lack of a physical source even more disturbing for those who watch the clip. Nighttime footage from a quiet street in Mexico captured the clear sound of a galloping horse approaching a residential home with incredible speed. The thundering hooves grew louder and louder until they sounded as if the animal was standing directly in front of the camera lens on the porch. Despite the deafening noise echoing through the neighborhood, the street remained entirely empty, with no animal or rider visible in the frame. Local residents have long told stories of a headless rider who traverses this specific neighborhood during certain phases of the moon to find lost souls. This recording provides a chilling audio link to those ancient legends, proving that some spirits leave a heavy physical footprint in our world. The silence that follows the hoofbeats is almost as terrifying as the noise itself, leaving the homeowner in a state of shock. In the early morning hours of November 22, 2025, Moore, Oklahoma police were called to a shooting in the 200 block of Northeastern Avenue. By the time officers arrived, 2 people had been shot. One of them didn't survive. The suspect, later identified as Deontay Hawthorne, was already gone. Just a few hours later, around 7:30 a.m., officers were dispatched again, this time to Northeast 12th Street near Eastern Avenue. A man had been found unresponsive after what initially appeared to be a medical emergency. He later died. As investigators worked the scene, they made a chilling discovery. The man's vehicle was missing. The car had been stolen, and police soon realized it was Hawthorne who had taken it. Before noon, the violence escalated again. Oklahoma City police responded to a carjacking in the 3100 block of Northwest 11th Street. A couple reported that a man armed with a gun had taken their vehicle by force. That man was Hawthorne. He abandoned the stolen car from Moore and drove off in the newly taken vehicle, continuing his deadly path through the city. Less than an hour later, Hawthorne arrived in the 2100 block of Northeast 26th Street. There in the open street, he shot and killed another man before fleeing yet again. By this point, police across multiple jurisdictions were actively searching for him. An automated license plate reader finally detected a stolen vehicle near Southeast 44th Street and Interstate 35. At the same time, real-time city cameras locked onto the car, feeding live updates to officers on the ground. Patrol units converged as Hawthorne was spotted driving near Southeast 44th Street and Eastern Avenue.
126, all being pursued now. Speed's about 80, still southbound on Eastern.
When officers attempted a traffic stop, he refused. What followed was a pursuit through the southeast side of Oklahoma City. The chase ended violently on Interstate 240 near Eastern Avenue when Hawthorne lost control and slammed into a concrete barrier. The damaged vehicle came to rest, but the danger was far from over.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way on 240.
Okay, guys, ramp is 1022, the pursuit, but Air 1, keep up with it.
Almost immediately, Hawthorne exited the car with a firearm in his hand. With traffic still moving on the interstate, he ran into the roadway and began trying to carjack passing motorists, pointing his gun at drivers who were just trying to get home.
Bound on 240, he's trying to carjack people, guys.
Panic spread as vehicles swerved and slammed on their brakes. Then came impact. Hawthorne was struck by one vehicle and then by a second. Amazingly, he got back up, still armed, still in the roadway. As Hawthorne continued posing an immediate threat to anyone nearby, an Oklahoma City police officer fired, stopping him.
Shots fired, 18 shots fired, he's down. I can't see the gun. I can't see the gun. Show us your hands! Show us your hands now!
He was transported to a local hospital where he later died. By the end of the day, 4 people had lost their lives across multiple scenes, all connected by a single individual in a chain of violence that unfolded over just a few terrifying hours. This case serves as a grim reminder how quickly chaos can spread and how one encounter can spiral into a citywide nightmare before it finally comes to an end. A man stepping out of his front door was violently attacked by a glowing orb-shaped object that appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the night. The impact was powerful enough to knock him off his feet and send him tumbling down a flight of concrete stairs, causing significant injury. He ended up in the emergency room, requiring 24 stitches to close the deep wounds caused by the sudden high-velocity collision. Security cameras caught the entire event from 2 angles, showing the object rushing toward him with predatory speed before vanishing into the night air. Whether it was a rare natural phenomenon like ball lightning or a paranormal strike, the physical damage it left behind on his body is undeniable. He now avoids leaving his home after the sun sets, fearing a second encounter with the mysterious light. During a campus tour at Texas Lutheran University, a camera caught a ghostly figure standing perfectly still in a hallway while 2 students walked past. The 2 friends walking through the building didn't notice the entity at the time and continued their casual conversation about their future classes. It was only during the late-night playback that they saw the translucent person watching them from the shadows of the sculpture wing with a blank expression.
Our gallery over here.
Look at the gallery.
Really cool because we've got student shows, we've got professor shows. A couple times a semester they have them, and anybody can attend, and it's really nice. This is our sculpture hallway, and down here we've got printmaking. Down here we've got printmaking. We'll see if there's a professor there that can talk to you about that. Sometimes they hang out during the summer.
Say, man, didn't you come here to do sculpture though?
That's kind of true. Maybe we could go look at the sculptures instead.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go down the sculpture hallway, see if there's any classrooms open. Sometimes they leave like senior seminar and some student work from last semester in the classrooms. We'll see if maybe there's something left over for you to look at. Here's some professor classrooms right there, and then these are all the art classrooms. I think this one.
The discovery was so disturbing that one of the youngsters immediately canceled his plans to transfer to the school, citing the building's energy as the primary reason. The figure remains one of the most famous examples of a photobomb from the other side ever recorded in an academic setting. Many students now claim to feel a cold spot in the exact location when they walk to their morning lectures. On March 18, 2020, in Des Moines, Iowa, what started as a simple welfare check turned into a scene that officers would remember for the rest of their lives. A woman named Lori Baker had called police, worried about her close friend, 50-year-old Paula Thompson. Earlier that day, Paula's son, Christopher, had phoned Lori and said something that froze her in place, that Paula was dead. Officers arrived at Paula's home to check on her. From the moment they stepped inside, an oppressive silence hung over the house. The air felt still and stale, like whatever had happened there had happened days ago, not hours. When they found Paula, their fears were confirmed. She was dead, her body showing obvious signs of blunt force trauma. It was not a natural death. Someone had beaten her. As they moved through the house, officers kept their hands on their weapons. They didn't know if the attacker was still lurking in a room, waiting. Each door they opened could have held a suspect, a weapon, or another victim. Christopher was nowhere to be found. Then they came across something that made the entire situation even more disturbing. Paula Scatt had been killed too, beaten in the same way and tossed aside. It was an act that spoke to pure cruelty, not just rage. At that point, what had been a welfare check officially became a homicide investigation. Detectives began pulling records and quickly discovered something that made them feel sick. Just 5 days earlier, on March 13th, Paula herself had called police, frightened of her own son.
Hi, my name is Paula Thompson, and my son actually is on probation, and he's trying to get in the house, and he has 219 Pleasant View Drive.
Okay. What's your son's name?
Christopher Thompson, and he's like, I hear you calling the police, Mom, please don't, blah, and he's yelling.
Okay, does he have any weapons?
Not that I know of.
Raj? Right here. Detectives?
Yeah.
Also need detectives to do I assume that the females are the people, yes?
Yes.
Right.
That's locked. Okay. I just want to make sure we check everywhere.
Christopher had recently been released on probation, and he was back in her life, bringing chaos with him. Officers responded to that earlier call, talked to Paula, and tried to calm her down. They told her to call again if he came back or caused trouble. She never got that chance. The autopsy results later revealed a chilling timeline. Paula had been dead for approximately 5 days before officers found her. That meant Christopher had likely been living in that house the entire time, eating, sleeping, and moving around while his mother's body lay inside. The quiet, heavy air the officers felt when they entered now made gruesome sense. Detectives then turned toward another family member, Paula's father, Christopher's grandfather. Paula had mentioned him to friends before, so they went to his home to deliver the news. His reaction left them uneasy. He was cooperative, but oddly calm, almost detached. As they spoke, some of the detectives debated whether to be blunt with him about the victim's identity. When they finally told him it was his own daughter who had been killed, his lack of visible shock or grief lingered in the back of their minds.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just look around for him. The detectives are looking for him right now.
Who's looking for him?
Our detectives are.
Oh, okay. All right, go on. My wife's looking in the back room as well.
Okay. So he hasn't lived here for a couple months or longer than that, 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna...
More than that, I didn't...
Okay, but yeah, if you don't mind, we're just gonna look around quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No one else in the home?
His wife. Back there? Okay.
321.
I wouldn't worry about going back there. Yeah. They would let us in if he was here. Alright, sir, if you hear from him, I know you haven't heard from him much, but if you happen to hear from him, can you call us immediately, please?
Sure.
Sorry for bothering you guys. Hope you guys have a good day.
Not fine. You guys just doing your job.
To better understand Christopher, investigators went back to the person who had sounded the alarm in the first place, Lori. She told them something that sent a chill down their spines. Months earlier, in December 2019, Paula had posted a video on Facebook. In it, she said that if she ever was found murdered, people should know that Christopher would be responsible. She took the video down minutes later, embarrassed or afraid of how it looked, but not before friends saw it. That moment, once brushed off as drama or emotional venting, had now become a grim prophecy.
The cold storage, and then he started somewhere else and didn't like it. And I can't remember what place that was, but then it's been probably a couple months. But he has like a felony, like he's so with the record.
Lori also painted a picture of Christopher's violent history. She recalled how, when he was younger, he tried to run over family members with a car after being told to do the dishes. In another incident, he threatened a friend with a knife just for asking him to leave. Story after story showed the same pattern: explosive anger, a sense of entitlement, and an inability to handle even basic confrontation without turning to violence. Detectives worried he would hurt someone else. They had no idea where he was, no clear trail to follow. They feared he was desperate, unpredictable, and capable of lashing out at any moment. Then, in a twist no one expected, they didn't find Christopher, he found them. On March 18, 2020, Christopher Thompson walked into the Polk County Jail on his own. Calmly, almost casually, he approached the front desk and asked if there was a warrant out for his arrest. When the officer on duty asked why there would be, his answer was chillingly simple: because I killed my mother. During his interview with detectives, Christopher's demeanor was unnerving. He showed no emotion, no tears, no panic. He explained what he did in a flat, matter-of-fact tone, like he was reciting a story that happened to someone else.
When did the fight happen with your mom?
On Friday the 13th.
At
It was
night?
dark. It was dark. So, and when she drinks, she gets really stupid and starts slamming things and yelling at me and telling me I'm not doing a good job at life, that I'm like a big mistake, and just always just negative. And well, the argument got really heated, and she got in my face, I got in hers, and then it escalated. I don't even know when I hit her in the head with a crowbar, and a few times.
So she was saying this when you had the crowbar in your hand?
Well, before I had the crowbar. And when I didn't say anything, I just went up and bam.
So you didn't even hesitate, you just grabbed the crowbar, came right down that hall and hit her?
Yeah.
But the first hit, she wasn't able to react at all?
I should have felt blood. Her hair was everywhere.
He claimed he blacked out, but then went on to relay a disturbing number of details with perfect clarity, including how he killed Paula's cat. The way he described hurting the animal wasn't just angry, it sounded spiteful, as if he wanted to punish anything she cared about. Detectives learned that after the killing, he stayed in the house for days. He ate, he drank, he played video games. He lived his life with his mother's body in the same home, rotting just a few feet away. It was a level of detachment that horrified even seasoned investigators. When they asked him why he had done it, Christopher tried to twist everything back onto Paula. He blamed her, painted himself as the one pushed too far, and tried to frame his actions as some kind of response to how he felt he'd been treated. His explanations didn't sound like remorse. They sounded like excuses from someone who refused to see himself as the villain.
Were you at home up until today?
Yeah.
I think I covered this. I just want to double check between Friday and then today. Have you left the house at all?
Yeah, to get more alcohol.
What would you buy down there?
Just Fireball. Yeah. And a pack of cigarettes.
How many times did you go down there in those 4 days?
I think twice.
Twice?
Were you watching TV or?
I was playing games and watching TV, yeah.
Okay. Did you call or tell anybody about this in the last 5 days?
No, just my mom's friend today.
What made you come to that?
Conscience.
Alright.
It's a heavy weight on my heart.
Yeah. Okay. So after you spoke with Lori, what did you do after you told her what had happened?
I left the house and I just went up to Walmart and waited in their parking lot.
What did you do there?
I just sat in there. I went inside and I bought some popcorn chicken. And
By the end of his interview, one thing was clear. Christopher wasn't weighed down by guilt. If anything, he seemed relieved to finally say the words out loud, as though admitting what he'd done removed a problem from his shoulders, not a life from the world. In November 2020, after a 3-day trial, the jury found Christopher Thompson guilty of first-degree murder and animal abuse. The following month, a judge sentenced him to life in prison for the people who loved Paula. The verdict brought some measure of justice, but it didn't erase the most haunting part of her story. Months before her death, she looked into a camera and warned that if anything ever happened to her, everyone should look at her own son. No one knew how literally that warning would come true. Long before July 5th, 2017, Maurice was already on law enforcement radar. His file was not short. Police reports linked him to drugs, weapons, and violent run-ins. Agencies described him as a repeat offender with open warrants, someone who knew how to disappear and avoid arrest. This was not the type of suspect officers expected to approach unarmed or unprepared. Local departments and U.S. Marshals shared his photo across task forces. Wanted posters and most wanted segments featured his face. One investigator stated it bluntly on camera. They believed he was armed. They believed he was willing to hurt people, and they believed that if he was not caught soon, someone else would get killed. Then came the night after the 4th of July. Friends were out at a club along 8 Mile. Music, drinks, the kind of crowded parking lot where people talk, argue, and drift between cars. Reports suggest there had been some kind of exchange earlier in the night, words traded, maybe tension that never fully settled. Within 15 to 20 minutes, the group split. The music and noise stayed behind. One man ended up walking alone down the street. That is when the security camera catches what matters. In the grainy footage, you see Maurice move in. He closes the distance on the lone man. There is no visible struggle, no long argument in the frame. He steps up, pulls out a gun, and fires. One moment the man is walking, the next he is collapsing on the pavement. Detectives later described it as a cold-blooded hit, not a sudden, desperate fight for survival, not a messy back-and-forth brawl, a targeted shooting. Once investigators matched the face in the video to Maurice, the manhunt jumped into high gear. Local stations ran his picture on nightly news. Law enforcement officials repeated the same lines. He is dangerous. He is armed. He needs to be found before someone else is hurt.
Not only he's a killer, he's a smart killer. He knows what he has to do to cover his tracks. We were looking for...
Tips finally led officers to Ohio in October 2017. After months on the run, Maurice was arrested in a joint operation that involved local police, U.S. Marshals, and other partners. It was the kind of coordinated grab you get when everyone agrees a suspect cannot stay on the street any longer. From there, the case shifted from hunt to courtroom. By July 30th, 2019, prosecutors in Michigan formally charged him with first-degree premeditated murder and firearms offenses tied to the 8 Mile shooting. That charge means the state believed they could prove more than just a spur-of-the-moment act. They believed this was deliberate. Public records mention earlier words exchanged in a parking lot, but there is nothing solid that suggests the victim launched an attack that forced Maurice to shoot in self-defense. Police did not frame this as two equal sides in a fair fight. They treated it as a one-sided act of violence triggered by a man with a track record of carrying guns and using them. The victim's family had to grieve under a spotlight. While detectives built the case and prosecutors assembled witnesses, they were left staring at the same security clip that everyone else saw, their loved one walking, a flash, a fall. Most of their comments stayed private. Public statements focused more on calls for justice than on the details of the man they lost. Law enforcement focused on something else too. What could have happened if the scene had been more crowded? The shooting happened on a public street. If the area had been busy, stray rounds could have hit completely unrelated bystanders. A single choice, a single trigger pull in the wrong place can turn a one-victim homicide into a mass casualty event in seconds. That fear was not theoretical. It is part of why officials kept saying, "He will kill again. We need to find this guy." They were not exaggerating for cameras. They were trying to prevent the next headline. Federal partners, including the U.S. Marshals, stepped in on the fugitive side because Maurice had outstanding warrants and was considered armed and dangerous. The murder case itself stayed with the local prosecutors, but the search used national databases, interstate communication, and tools that only federal teams can bring to the table. In the end, the video did what cameras often do now. It gave detectives a face and a timeline. It gave prosecutors a clean record of the act itself. It gave the public and the jury a clear look at what happened on that dark stretch of road. For law enforcement, the case is another example of how surveillance can close dangerous gaps and pull violent offenders off the street. For the victim's family, that single clip is a wound that never fully heals. For everyone else watching, it's a reminder how fast a normal night can end when someone with a gun in history decides to act. On July 4th, 2025, the usually quiet streets of Tav, Russia, were jolted into chaos when a routine moment turned into a disastrous chain reaction. Surveillance footage captured an afternoon that should have been unremarkable. A mother stepping across a road to grab a bottle of water, a young one waiting safely on the sidewalk with an aunt. But in the span of a heartbeat, everything changed. the moment the youngster spotted her mother returning, instinct overpowered caution. She bolted off the curb without looking, sprinting directly into the path of a massive dump truck moving at full speed. The driver reacted instantly, slamming the brakes and wrenching the wheel to avoid crushing the small child. That desperate maneuver sent the truck lunging across a yellow line into oncoming traffic. A taxi traveling in the opposite direction never had a chance to escape the collision. The violent impact crumpled the front end of the taxi like foil, shattering glass across the pavement and throwing the occupants violently inside. Witnesses said the echo of metal slamming into metal rang across the entire block, followed by the sharp cries of panic from pedestrians who watched it unfold. Emergency responders arrived within minutes. The taxi driver and a passenger, dazed and bloodied from the crash, were rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Meanwhile, police began searching for the mother and her young one, who had vanished from the scene. When officers eventually located them, the mother was still shaking, unable to fully understand how her youngster's sudden dash had caused something so catastrophic. Authorities said she and the aunt left out of pure shock, not realizing the consequences of those few seconds. The young one and the mother were eventually transferred to Child Protection Services as police opened a full investigation into the accident. What emerged was a tragic reminder of how devastating a single impulsive movement can be. A youngster running toward a parent, a driver forced to make an impossible choice, and in an instant, 3 separate lives changed forever. There was no malice in what happened that day, only a moment of instinct colliding with the unforgiving reality of traffic and momentum. In the early hours of July 30th, 2023, a call came into Lakewood Police from the Morning Tree Park Apartments. The person on the other end sounded shaken, their words tumbling over each other as they described something they'd seen near the dumpsters. It wasn't just trash, there was blood, a lot of it. Officers raced to the complex, unsure what exactly they were about to step into. When they arrived, they met a man named Ted, someone who often scavenged through the garbage for usable items. That morning, he noticed blood seeping out from under the dumpster and dripping onto the ground. Curious and uneasy, he looked inside. There, crumpled among the bags and broken items, was an elderly man. His face had been beaten so badly, it was almost impossible to recognize him as human. What should have been a simple trash pickup spot had become a crime scene.
Who was the one that saw him? Who called? You did, sir?
Me.
So what happened? What did you see? Like, how did this all...
Okay, me and her, was kind of like dumpster digging, right? And I see this red stuff, you know, we can have the dumpster. So I went in there, and I see his body in there.
Detectives quickly realized they needed answers to 2 critical questions. Who was this man, and who had done something this vicious to him? The apartment manager, Ryan, stepped forward with the lead. He believed the victim was Leonard, a longtime resident who lived in the complex. But there was a complication. Leonard was known for being extremely private and deeply paranoid. He refused to carry ID. He didn't want anything with his name tied to the government. He kept to himself and took great care to stay off official records. That choice made confirming his identity slow and frustrating.
I'm sure he'll have some kind of ID.
No.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
Never?
No.
Okay.
He was a really nice guy, actually, though. I mean, I had a relationship with him, you know, like friend-wise. He don't even trust like anybody with like social security cards or anything. He won't sign a lease. So he'd probably be about 63, 65, somewhere in there. He's partially African American, but he's really light skinned.
Skinny, tall.
Yes.
Skinny.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be Leonard.
While officers searched their databases for any match to be the man they had just pulled from the dumpster, another team used Ryan's help to unlock Leonard's apartment. As they stepped inside, they found no obvious signs of a struggle, no chaos, just a quiet home that looked like it belonged to a cautious, solitary man. Around the same time, technology finally caught up. Facial recognition and prior records confirmed that the victim was 64-year-old Leonard Williams. Neighbors described him as kind but reserved, someone who offered a nod or a smile in passing but rarely invited anyone into his life. No one could understand who would hate him enough to kill him. Back at the dumpster, an officer noted something that shifted the entire investigation. The area around the container wasn't just messy, it looked freshly disturbed. Torn bags, pooled blood, and streaks suggested a struggle or a body being dragged. It was hard to believe that anyone could have walked by in the past few hours without noticing. Then detectives remembered something important. About 12 hours earlier, an officer had been at the very same apartment complex, responding to a noise complaint. His body-worn camera showed him walking down the same side path that led straight to the dumpster. In that footage, there was no blood, no visible disturbance. That meant Leonard's murder had to have occurred sometime after that visit. It tightened the timeline and narrowed down potential suspects. The noise complaint that brought the officer out the night before came from Unit J54, an apartment known for constant parties, loud music, and a revolving door of teenagers who rarely paid rent on time. What police didn't realize yet was that those same teens were about to pull the entire focus of the case onto themselves. With a fresh timeline, detectives secured a search warrant for J54. When officers entered the unit, the atmosphere was thick with the smell of smoke, spilled alcohol, and nervous energy. Music gear cluttered the space. Empty bottles sat on counters and tables. Several teens hovered awkwardly, insisting nothing unusual had happened. One of them, a boy named Ty, was notably missing. The others said he had just gone to the corner store. Detectives doubted every word. As officers began separate interviews, one of the teenagers cracked under pressure. Shaking and overwhelmed, he laid out what had happened in horrifying detail. His story put two names at the center of the violence: Ty and 17-year-old Brody Chubbs Brownell, a teen already known for his explosive temper when drunk. That night, witnesses said Brody had been pounding back tequila, 2 bottles between him and friends, along with marijuana. At some point, Leonard came outside. Some said he was there to complain about the noise. Others believe he might have simply been muttering to himself, lost in his own thoughts. Either way, he crossed paths with an intoxicated, agitated teen who didn't need much of an excuse to snap. According to witnesses, Brody attacked Leonard without mercy. He punched, kicked, and ultimately stabbed him, turning a minor interaction into a deadly one-sided beating. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, he recorded the attack on Snapchat and sent the video to friends still inside the apartment, almost like it was some kind of twisted show. That video quickly became the most damning piece of evidence in the entire case. While officers fanned out to locate Brody, air support searched the surrounding area from above. At the same time, someone spotted a young male sprinting near the complex. It was Ty. He was detained and questioned. Ty insisted he had run because he was terrified and claimed he hadn't taken part in the killing. His account largely matched what other witnesses said, but detectives kept him on their radar. The real priority was Brody. Detectives started contacting anyone who might know where he'd gone, including friends Miguel Ventura and Dakota Johnson.
Drunk, and then he was like trying to fight everyone at the party, but no one would fight him because either they would win and then he was like backing down or stuff like that. Okay. So he couldn't fight anyone there, and so he went outside all mad. And then there was this homeless dude or whoever it was walking by, and then he was like, "Oh, keep stepping, keep walking." And then the homeless dude was like, "All right," and then he was like just walking away. And then Chubbs just started getting mad and then just like ran up on him and punched him. And then he just started stomping on him. After a minute or two, he went inside, and then he like grabbed the knife, and everyone was trying to stop him, but like he was kind of scary with the knife because he was really drunk.
From those conversations, they mapped out his escape. By that evening, they had a solid lead. Brody was hiding about 40 minutes away in the city of Yelm. A SWAT team surrounded the home where he was believed to be holed up, prepared for a barricade or another explosion of violence. Instead, Brody was taken into custody without a fight. He was charged with first-degree murder and assault and held on a $1.5 million bond. Thanks to the Snapchat video and witness statements, investigators concluded that while other teens were present and may have helped cover things up afterward, Brody alone carried out the fatal attack. None of the others, including Ty, were charged in connection with the homicide. In the end, prosecutors argued that Leonard's only mistake was crossing paths with a drunk, volatile teenager at the wrong time. They described how alcohol, drugs, and Brody's aggressive personality mixed into something deadly. With the video and timeline laid bare in court, Brody changed his plea to guilty. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison, the maximum punishment allowed under the law for someone his age. Leonard Williams, a quiet, paranoid man who had tried so hard to stay under the radar, lost his life in the most public and humiliating way possible, left in a dumpster like trash. Brody, only 17, threw away his own future in a few brutal minutes. One man dead, one teenager locked away, and an entire apartment complex left with the memory of what they found at the end of that path by the dumpsters. Sometimes, the monsters aren't strangers in the dark. Sometimes, they live just down the hall. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.